Let me thank Reverend McDonald and the leadership of Concerned Black Clergy for us to come together today. I think it's important to note that while commissioners may be elected and members of the Fulton County Commission may be elected from other parts of the county, they're sworn to represent Fulton County, not North Fulton, not Alpharetta, not Milton. They're sworn to represent all of the people of Fulton County. It just so happens that the most vulnerable people in Fulton County happens to be south of Buckhead and North Fulton and in the city of Atlanta and south and east and west. And so they are supposed to represent everybody. And so the challenge here is, what do we do? I want to first start by commending Commissioner Hall, Commissioner Karn, and Commissioner Arrington for standing firm and standing up for what is right. Yeah. And the only 3 commissioners who voted to end this madness of ending the CDBG grants. First, Resolution 19-1152, which was sponsored and presented by Commissioner Ellis. Again, he's in North Fulton. Again, and if you do your investigation and review, and I hope the media and others will, on several occasions, there were grants that he tried to get for CBDG in communities that had homes that were worth $500,000 or more, senior centers in Alpharetta that did not qualify. And there were efforts to get funds to other individuals where they manipulated the system for nonprofits who didn't qualify, and they got, even on 2 occasions, over $50,000 to these organizations from the general fund that were manipulated. The thing too, to start this conversation, if they were on the up and up, if the chairman of this commission and all of them were true and truthful about what they were trying to do, why did they leave the 3 commissioners who voted against it out of the conversation? Why wasn't Commissioner Hall, Commissioner Karn, and Commissioner Arrington involved in the beginning of this? The HUD met with Fulton County administrators and staff. HUD met with them several weeks before. They knew for several weeks before the vote that they were going to move to abolish the CBDG program. HUD said, we will send you support and technical assistance, and ask them not to withdraw from this program. Why did not the chairman of the commission inform the other commissioners that they had had this meeting and that they were planning on it? But it's my understanding that this was slipped on the agenda. The 4 of them had already decided how they were going to vote, and when the commission came together, they voted to end the program without including the other 3 commissioners whose districts are impacted the most by the people who will be affected by this action. Shame. Now, we need to also understand under this, and even another issue that's not to be discussed, we won't deal in this, is that our chairman of the commission and others are trying to move now to consolidate Commissioner Aaron and Commissioner Karn's district so that we will reduce the number of representatives in Fulton County, which will give North Fulton the control. But that's another conversation on another day. But I want to make sure that we deal with what's going on now. This commission, this county, not the commission, and let's be clear, the administrator, the county manager has a responsibility, and his staff for running the government. And again, they have not disclosed to the commissioners all of the information that's going on. But let's deal with some of the issues. First of all, this chairman, this county manager, which oversees, has known for years that this program has had problems. There were audits done by HUD that said to them, you need to hire more staff to run the program. Their own auditing group within Fulton County said we need more staff to run the program. Now, I was told by my mother, if it looks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, and if it walks like a duck, it must be a duck. So therefore, there has been a conspiracy by the county manager and others to kill the program by making it run ineffectively so that they could come back and say the program doesn't work. Oh, but by the way, and they say they don't have the money. They're getting ready to purchase a $21 million facility in North Fulton, $21 million in North Fulton, and they say that FDHA and GMHC are supporting. I talked to the chairman of Fulton County Hospital Authority. She said they have not taken one action and don't support. This is supposed to be a mental health facility in North Fulton where they'd have to bust the people who would be beneficiaries of mental health programs from inside the city up to North Fulton, but they can find $21 million to do a sweetheart's deal for somebody. But let's also deal with some of the issues we've had here. You know, again, that's $21 million, but all during this program, there have been missteps, And I think at the end of this, we need to call for the Fulton County District Attorney, the Inspector General of HUD, and the U.S. Attorney to do an investigation. There were dollars that were spent from these programs with developers. They were supposed to be creating affordable housing. Let's just say down in East Point, over $600,000 was provided to help start this affordable housing program down in East Point. And this is this is money to the Fulton Housing Authority. It's now called, again, the Fulton, I'll give you, Department of Housing and Community Development. $600 and some odd thousand. I have the documents this year. Again, they did not start one new housing unit.
Not one.
Not one. They, again, refunded a little bit of money back to Fulton County. 400,000+ hasn't been accounted for. Developers got money and didn't create it, but that's not the only place. This has happened throughout the program, that they have taken funds and have not created one affordable housing unit. Now, we have to understand that this program, which is supposed to deal with home emergency solutions, it's supposed to be support for seniors, support for the homeless, and for low-income families. And right now, homelessness is on the rise. And this commission, the 4 commissioners were in a program now to help these people when we need it the most. And of course, the folks in North Fulton said that we don't need this program because my people don't benefit from it. Well, they're poor people. They're seniors in North Fulton. They're homeless people in North Fulton. There are other programs that they need money in North Fulton. But these folks can decide, we don't care about the people in Fulton County down south of Buckhead. Oh, by the way, our chair lives in Buckhead and the rest of them, so the 4 of them get together to vote because he doesn't understand what's going on in South Fulton and what's going on in the inner city anyway. So what we have to do is, one, call them out. Commissioner Ellis had a senior center in his district. He wanted to take several hundred thousands and support the senior center, which was surrounded by homes of $500,000 or more, which would not qualify. And the staff person told him, you don't qualify, so the money was pulled back. Again, there have been efforts to take monies from this program and use it as they please. So to all of us here, we've got to stop this madness. First, we need to, one, call on Chairman Pitts. He represents the whole county. The other 3 don't represent the whole county. He represents the whole county. And as I understand it, he can stand up on the 8th, and I want to make sure we have people by the busloads at Fulton County Commission. He can stand up on the 8th and say, I want to reconsider my vote and ask for a recall on the vote that was given. And if he votes in the affirmative with the other 3 who voted, they will end rescinding the CDBG program. Pitts can stop it. Stop it, with just one effort. Stop it, Pitts. We need to make sure he understands there's a certain provision in state government called a recall. And if he cannot represent all the people, maybe we need to recall him and go and put somebody in there. But then these folks in North Fulton, which, again, they're supposed to represent everybody because they didn't get their hands in now like they probably did in the past. Now, all of a sudden, they want to end the program. We need to ask, and I'm asking that we ask the commissioners, Commissioner Hall, who has stood for everybody. We ask that Commissioner Arrington, who's been a champion, and Commissioner Karn, who is new, that they call for an audit, a complete audit of this program from 2005 on. That they call for a complete audit. And, of course, that they get all of the audits that were done by the auditor of Fulton County, which also revealed that the program was not being managed properly. We asked for them to ask for that. Ask for every project that was funded to give the determination of how much money was spent, if any of those projects were completed, and to make sure that they understand where the money is now. I understand there are hundreds of thousands and maybe millions of dollars somewhere lost in Fulton County's coffers from CDBG money that never got used. There, you know, again, they say if it looks like a duck, quack like a duck, quack like a duck, sounds like there may be some criminal activity running away here. And I said, it sounds like, but you know what? It looks like a duck, quacks like a duck, and it walks like a duck. So what we're asking, down in Union City, there were over $1 million that were let to start a project, support a project down in Union City. Of course, Fulton County, under Richard Anderson, they had to pay back $700,000 to HUD and pull another 300,000 in Union City. They didn't do an environmental study. There are so many violations. The thing was so mind-boggling to me. And understand, they've had 15 to 18 Fair Housing Act violations. Fulton County, which is predominantly African-American, you can have that many fair housing violations in this county by people who are supposed to represent everybody, and they have not been remedied. So what I'm asking us to do, and there's so much more to go, and they've been using the general fund to pay off the mismanagement. And understand, it's not the commissioners. Here's the guy who's supposed to run it, who has known about it. There are memos to him, and Richard Anderson did nothing to clean up the issue, to clean up the problem in Fulton County, but all of a sudden now, it's a bad program, it's mismanaged. Yes, mismanaged because you mismanaged.
He needs to go.
And it's important now for us to stand with these three great commissioners who are concerned and committed to our people, and for us to really call for a complete investigation from the Fulton County DA, from the U.S. Attorney, from the Inspector General, and of course, to ask that on the 8th that the citizens show up and show out, because this is about the people. It's not about us. It's about the people who depend on this, those who are the most vulnerable. And I live here in Southwest Atlanta. I don't live in Buckhead. I live with my people. And I support my people, and that's all that I've done. And so I don't care if there's a retaliation, bring it on. Because I will be prepared, and then we will be going forward to the U.S. Attorney, to the Inspector General, and to the DA, and ask that they do a complete investigation.
I wish Tommy Dortch would say what he really thinks. That's all I wish.
Kind of shy, you know that.